Hello, today we're going to be jumping into the Pearl Cave and seeing if it's still good for PvP after they've made a bunch of changes to it. So let's go see what the changes are and if it's still good or not. Now, if you're wanting to know, the Pearl Cave is located at near 20.2 and 46.4. I mean, these aren't accurate, but if you're using the map, that'll get you kind of close. And then you can see it in this little horseshoe thing here, and it'll be a cave in the side of be a hole in the side of the hill, basically. As we can see, this entrance here is really big, so this is not great. So that's definitely a change from the smaller entrance that used to have. It's pretty wide, so it might be harder for a smaller tribe to hold this entrance against a larger tribe. So we'll keep going back though, and we'll see. I mean, it is a nice, kind of straight-ish hallway without too many. There's a couple of spots you can LOS turrets from, I guess. Yeah, so you might want to set up further back, but let's just see how it goes. I'm not seeing any great spots for turrets yet, especially since you can pretty much just walk big dinos and down into here. But as you can see, we're starting to get a little smaller. All right, so it looks like that little section there would probably be as far as a pair racer can get, and then a stego can go a little further. And as you can see, we're starting to get, and there you go. The stego stops being able to go through right here. So my character's just a little smaller than, so it makes everything seem a little bigger. But yeah, so the stego gets stuck right here. So we still can't get a stego into the, into the Pearl Cave. I think I'm, no, I'm in the mesh. There we go. All right, so stegos get stuck about here. But as you notice, it opens right back up on the other side of this. So there are tricks you can use to go ahead and push the stego through this, even without cryopods. So the stego could technically get on the other side of this, but most players aren't going to know how to do that, so it won't be too big of an issue for most tribes. And then it looks like it gets small again right here, which means the stego would get stuck again. But it does look much bigger than the Pearl Cave originally on SE, so yeah, you could get turtles through here, which is the real threat anyway. All right, so you can get the turtles in here, and then once we get inside, let's see how it looks inside. Not too much different. That pillar in the middle is a problem. I think that maybe they intended for you to maybe put your turrets on it, but it's kind of in the way. Causes an LOS issue in here. Yeah. You can drop down. Okay, so this inside looks a little bigger, but it might not be. This seems a little wider right here. Not by much. And then once it come down here and it drops again, so that's new. This is a new change. It drops. Oh yeah, back in here there's more water. All right, so I don't know, with this pillar here, kind of changes the dynamics of the Pearl Cave. You can, I mean, it would be nice for getting some turrets built up that would shoot down that hallway. These plants are in the way. There we go. Then it'll shoot into the hallway a little bit there, which would be nice. It looks like it wouldn't shoot far enough back to catch that they could soak with stegos. So that's good. So they'll just be left with turtles and other small creatures like that. And of course, you would need to build this in such a way that terror birds and other speedy creatures couldn't get through here, and players on foot sprinting through here. Then the wall usually goes back around over here and fires back that way. This still work? Will kind of still work. The problem is this right here. They can sprint and get behind it, right? Sprint and get back here. They can now LOS a whole lot of turrets and be really close, and then be able to come around this and get to your wall. So you have to be careful with that. Depending on how you build, it might be best just to leave all the turrets up on the ceilings and on the walls instead of on structures in here, which is probably the better way to do it now that we can do that with turrets. So yeah, that might be the other way to do it. Of course, there's pearls everywhere in here because it's the Pearl Cave. All right, and as with it being the Pearl Cave, this is your main line of defense right here. Once they take this down and they're in this room, it's only a short matter of time before the rest of your cave falls, generally. Well, we'll go ahead and check out the rest of the cave and see if there's any other stopping points in here. Keep in mind, use mantis, grapples, and things like that in this hallway to really mess up the enemy players and kill them before they can even get into your cave. Now we'll head deeper into the cave and go to the back room on the left side first, and then we'll switch to the right side. If we put our turrets there, we'd still have to go quite a ways back before we can put another set of turrets. Alright, so we'll come into this room where they would have to jump to get across, as long as you didn't build bridges across, right? So they have to jump, they have to use a dinosaur that can get across there, or build themselves if they have destroyed your foundations and supports and stuff in the area, so they can actually build. But forcing them to have to jump to get through this part here and use this like a normal walkways, it makes it a lot harder to get through here. And you can get a set of turrets back up in here, firing in that direction and keeping them from being able to easily push through here. Of course, they can drop down there to avoid the turrets and LOS the turrets, so you may want to place some defenses around. This is really just a kind of a slow down room. I wouldn't focus too hard on it. Just enough to keep them from pushing through once they're in. That way, whatever you have back here, you have time to move somewhere else. All right, if we go farther back, you can see we can get decent, once they're in here, we can pretty much get a decent sized dino in here. Let's see. Yeah, so as you can see, Stego can freely move around inside the Pearl Cave once you're past the few doors. So once they clear out, get some foundation control, they can drop crowd pods and get Stegos out. So then we come into this back room, and yeah, this would probably just be a good breeding room. Since once they get past the little jumping area and the first entrance, you wouldn't really be able to put much in here. That would be to hold them out, so you can just put breeders in here and stuff like that, maybe storage. And then put your turrets along the ceilings and walls to shoot them as they try and come in and move around in here. We'll check the water out and see how deep it is. So yeah, it's not a huge pool of water, it's pretty deep. So you could breed Tusos in this room, but I think the back room is better for that. You could do sharks or whatever in here though. You can just fill this thing with sharks that you're breeding. And you see other area for Tusos. This would be plenty big to breed an army of sharks. Alright, now we'll head the other way. We'll head to the right side of the cave, which is usually the better place to build in and put your loot on that side. And you'll probably be able to breed Tusos and other things over here. Well, Pearl Cave is generally great for a small tribe because a small tribe can hold it really well, and it has pretty much the room you need for all your stuff. For really, really big tribes, it's not the best base because you won't have the ability to breed everything you want to breed all the time, but it'll still be good. Definitely if you combine it with another base or something. So like, see if you can take that North Ice Cave or something like that. Alright, so as you come down this way, it's slightly different than it was. You have this drop point here and that guiding you down into the water here, and there's nothing up there. Just kind of cuts across into this water and up this ramp. I think this used to be where you would have to swim under to get into this section of the cave. Let's see if that's still here or not. That made this a little bit stronger when it was the original Pearl Cave. This is a little bit weaker build, and there's not really a great place to put turrets yet coming this direction. I mean, placing turrets will let you do slowdowns or whatever, but so far there's not like a great place for them. Oh wow, we're already to the back. And the water does not look deep anymore. Wow, they may have really messed up the Pearl Cave. So yeah, so that's why we're doing this first look, right, to see if it's still worth or not. As you can see here, this is a yellow crate. So this is going to be a quality tier 3 center loot crate, and if you've seen my previous video, you'll know about this. This is going to have the Shastasaurus saddle in it, or a good chance of having a Shastasaurus saddle on possibly blueprint. Alright, so yeah, that's what they're basically the yellow crates on the center are center crate. Anyway, that's not what this video is about, so let's move on. Alright, wow. I didn't see any good places to have a choke point before coming back here. Before there were two. Remember, there was the swim in, and then there was the crack you had to get through. Neither of those are here anymore. So it looks like the left side might be the stronger side now. I mean, of course, this side is the huge side, right? This is where you can get all of your structures, and you can breed a lot of stuff in here. But then the water was supposed to be where you can breed Tusos. I guess they don't want you breeding Tusos in here anymore. Wow, yeah, no. That is shallow. It doesn't just look shallow, it is shallow. But even this, there's only a few spots where the two souls would fit, so it's kind of hard to breed. You might have to breed them over in the other side. This used to be a great two-soul breeding one and a pin, but yeah. Alright, so on our way back out of here, it looks like this would be the next best stopping point in the Pearl Cave when coming back to the right side here. Would be this here where it drops down into the water. I can't get out of the water. There we go. Okay, well, I'll just come over the other side and stand over here. Show you. There we go. Now we can see a little better. So as you're coming down, there's this little arc right here, and then you come through and you would go up the ramp or over through there. Basically, you just build some turrets up in here that fire down to about right here, and this would be your next best stopping point. So it's not great. It's just like the other side. They'll be able to use stegos. The other side will be a little bit stronger simply because they have to go through that jumping area to get over, but that jumping area has a lot of LOS issues, so that could also be a problem for defending. You probably put your turrets all up around in this area here where I'm standing and have them firing down there. And then, of course, if you can get more farther back in the cave, just for more slowdown, and of course for meshers. There's probably a lot of holes in here where you can just kind of walk into this cave from inside the mesh, so that's going to be a thing if you play on official PvP, but that's always a thing, so so just build correctly to counter that. So as long as you have defenses everywhere, turrets on everything, and if you can identify where those mesh holes are, you'll be able to set up defenses watching those as well. Alright, so while the Pearl Cave isn't amazing anymore, they got rid of a lot of the stuff that made it good. From the looks of it, it can still be held by a small tribe as long as you're online. I don't imagine this cave would last very long at all if you had an offline timer, which is the case of most caves and most bases on Ark. But being able to build inside a cave and keep your defenses focused on one direction and not have attackers coming from above is always going to be good and useful and better than building on the surface. So if you can take the Pearl Cave, it might be something you'll think about taking if there are no other better base spots. As far as Pearl Cave goes, I'd give it probably 6 out of 10. And I'm starting to think that I'm not going to be able to give any cave a 10 out of 10 after the new changes, because I don't think anything's going to be quite as good as the stuff we had in ASE. They're making it easier to be rated now, rather than being able to hold it for indefinite if you're online or until you run out of resources. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.